Good morning. My name is William L. Lee, and I'm chairman of the Board of Zoning Appeals for Lancaster County. We welcome you all. All right, at this time, we will have on our agenda approval of minutes.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Yeah, it's been moved and proper second that the minutes from the previous meeting will be received and adopted. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Aye, has it. All right, all right. We will now start with our clients here. Our first case will be Robbie and Stacy Hackney, 419 River Bluff Road, Whitestone, Virginia, 22578. Requests a variance from Article 5-3 and 5-6 and -4. R1 yard regulations of the Lancaster zoning ordinance for construction of a two-story detached garage to be constructed within the 75-foot front yard setback and 25-foot rear and side setbacks on the property located at 419 River Bluff Road, tax map number 34-310. Mr. Bill, do you have any comments or accusations on this case?
Yes, sir. We did have a few neighbors reach out. Every neighbor is actually for this project. No opposition. There was a question with a neighbor on the backside of the Hackney's property, but that's something that can be resolved if approved and construction started.
All right, all right. Mr. Robin? Oh, okay, all right. Please come forward and state your full name, please. Sir.
Good morning. I'm Roby Hackney. My wife Stacy wasn't able to join us this morning because she was getting the boys off to school. So, just me.
All right.
And would you like me to tell you about this?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes, sir,
okay.
if you don't mind.
So we had a tree fall on our garage, and it's a one-story garage. And Mr. Saunders, we had asked him if we could rebuild it back as a two-story. I believe we might be able to fit within the zoning requirements if we moved the location. But in doing that, I think we would block the view of our neighbors. It might improve the view of the garage, but it would block the view of our neighbors. And the only request that we've had is from our adjacent neighbor, Audrey, and she's here today, which is to move it forward about 18 to 24 inches, which is no problem for us. And so the request would be to allow us to do that so that we don't move it into a location that would disturb the view for the other neighbors.
All right. Dave? You have any comments?
I'm gonna defer to you, sir. Mr. Fleet.
It looks like that not only are you trying to go up a story, but by doing so, you're going to be going wider so that what you're trying to rebuild is larger than the footprint that is there today.
Yes, sir, I think it is about 2 feet wider, I believe, roughly.
So what I would, what I, when I went and looked at it and what I've been presented is that if you build what you're asking for, your setback's gonna be a little over 5 feet from the line, and today you're only 7.
This is from the line to the house closest to us.
It'd be from your property line.
That, I think that might be right.
In the plans that we were, how wide is the structure you're trying to build?
Oh, we were actually gonna come, the width extension would go, not towards the closest property line, but towards a further property line, so it wouldn't encroach any tighter in that direction.
Can you show us on here? Not the best map in the world, but
Right.
here's the water review.
Right.
That's existing.
Yes, so, Ms. Audrey wants us to come about 2 feet further off the road so that trucks can go through more easily. And the width would be expanded in this direction, so it wouldn't encroach any closer to her house.
Okay, so does that answer your question?
So today, it's 5.5 feet off that property line?
Off of over
Jump.
here?
Yeah.
Oh, no,
If you're not speaking in the mic, they can't pick you up.
oh, I'm sorry. It's, actually, I have a survey. It's a
Okay.
good bit.
Yeah, let's
further
look at
than
that.
Yeah.
This is,
I've got that survey. It is, it is actually, 25 feet off of there. I'm sorry about that. It's about 25 feet off of that line.
So you're going, if this is what's here today, your width is going this way?
Yes, by about a foot or two, yeah.
So you're 25 feet today, and you're gonna stay 25 feet
That's
when this
correct.
is finished?
Yes, sir. Won't get any closer there.
so what is that even asking?
Well, because what we were given, it shows that it's 5.5 feet. That survey shows 25 feet.
Yeah, I haven't seen this.
Huh?
I haven't seen this.
It is 25 feet. She's my neighbor right there. She lives in that house, so she would know as well.
So you would just need the front yard setback, the variance from the front yard. We're asking for 2 variances.
Yeah.
If you're looking at his house from the road,
Right.
you building this on the right side of your house where that big oak tree is?
That's the direction it would expand towards, yes, sir.
Yeah, but see, I didn't see that on that survey, so there's not 2 variances he's asking for. So he's already good on the front, on the side.
Okay.
He's asking for the front setback now, because I didn't have this.
No,
But he's already he's going on existing footprint, right? Except for.
Yeah, he's
expanding.
going on the existing footprint,
So really he's asking, can he break that variance going this way? Because that's already there.
correct.
Just that little, you said like
Yes, sir, 2 feet.
about 2 feet
Yes, sir.
over.
Mhm. And we're actually going to bring it forward about 2 feet at Ms. Audrey's request, just to clear the road a little bit.
Really, if anything, you're expanding your clearance.
Yes.
So then what is the,
we'd be asking for the 5/6-4.
Which is coming inside the 50-foot?
Yes.
because how far is he going?
That's saying 7 in that little space. That looks like that's the 7.85.
Yeah.
So it'll be more like 9-ish.
No, 5-ish.
Well, he's saying he's gonna shift the whole thing this way. Right? Am I hearing that right?
Mhm, to
Forward
make-
towards your house or
Yes,
forward?
towards my
Towards the
house.
house to get, so trucks can access to this. Is it an issue currently with trucks coming through there because of the?
Well, she just requested it when she knew I
Yeah,
was
the
doing
road
it.
used to be on the river side of the houses, and it fell off in erosion. So they put it to the back of our houses, and it's a very narrow road.
Okay.
So if he's, so the way this looks, he's actually going to be increasing the distance, not decreasing,
Yeah.
right?
Still
So we've
within-
already cleared the fact that there's no variance required on the side because it's already, because that's not where he's going. And it's actually improving the setbacks.
Um,
Can you make a copy of that for me, Bill, just to look at? 'Cause
Story.
That's not our department.
That's not ours.
No. Yeah, I asked that.
I don't know if it's time, but I would make a motion.
This is something.
Yeah.
You have anything else to say? You have anything else to say? Ready for a motion?
Yeah, I want to get the word right. I'll make a motion to approve, but the request, I want to make sure we get the language right, because you're requesting to use the existing footprint, but to move it farther from the road, approximately 2 feet into your property, to increase that setback. And then you're gonna expand the footprint approximately 2 feet as well, is that what you said, 2 to 3 feet?
Yes, sir, 2 to 3 feet.
Into your property, which is already inside of the allowed area.
Yes, sir.
So if I'm understanding that correctly and saying that correctly, I would make the motion we approve that.
Okay.
I agree with that.
All right. It's been moved and proper second. With the request for this variance will be received and adopted.
Before voting, I just want to make sure, just because it's come before us before, that's why his wording is so important on the motion, because you're building on the current footprint, but you're actually increasing the setback that you have today, not decreasing, because normally we're dealing with decrease of variance. So I just wanted to be on record and letting him be known that that's what I'm voting on. I'm voting on the fact
Right.
that you're increasing
Right.
the setback, not decreasing it. You're building it on the footprint that you have.
Good.
Yeah.
All right.
Vote?
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? I have it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, moving right along. Mr. Larry? Brittany? All right, okay. And Kimberly Ritchie, 469 Dillon Drive, Lancaster, Virginia, 22503. Request a variance from Article 5-5-1, R1 Yard Regulations of the Lancaster County zoning ordinance for the construction of an addition to their current residence. The purpose addition will be an 8-foot by 30-foot addition into the 25-foot side yard side setback. The property is located at 469 Dillon Drive, tax map 19B-1-108. Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, sir.
Mr. Bill, do you have any comments or whatever you would like to say on behalf of this case?
Chairman, you do have neighbor opposition that's present in the board meeting room today.
All right. Okay. Mr. Larry?
Yes,
State
sir.
your full name and you may speak.
My name is Larry L. Birney, B-I-R-N-E-Y. My wife and I live at 469 Dillon Drive there in Lancaster. Historically, somewhere back when they created that subdivision, the lots were considerably larger. But to create my lot, and I believe my neighbor's lot, they divided it in half. So my lot total width is 70 feet from one property line to the other property line. So under the current setbacks requirements, that would be 50 feet, which would mean I would only have 20 feet in which to build on that lot since the rules have changed. Currently, there's about, from my house to my neighbor's house, there's about 36 feet. From my house to the property line is about 18 feet. So we thought that if we moved over just 8 feet, we would still leave 10 feet from our property, from the edge of the house to the property line. The neighbors currently have that 18 feet. I don't know what their future plans are, but that would leave 28 feet roughly from house to house there. 8 feet we thought was reasonable, given the fact that we don't have any room to add on any other direction. We are already 10 feet off the property line on the north side of the house. All the structures basically up and down the street. I believe the structure on the south side of my neighbor's house that currently exists, they only have about 20 feet in between their house and the next house. So again, I was trying to be reasonable. We didn't ask for 12 feet, 15 feet, trying to keep 10 feet in between my property line and the house, which is enough room on that side of the house should you need to drive around the house or whatever. You would still have access to the back. We live there full-time now. Before that was our part-time home. Obviously, the homes are very small, and we thought by adding on a little more square footage, it would make the home a little more livable. And so what we're trying to do, we believe, is reasonable and not encroaching too much on the neighbors. And so we're asking for the variance to go. We can't, obviously, we're already in violation on both sides. I think everybody pretty much up and down the street. This is an incorporated neighborhood. The roads are all maintained by us. They're not maintained by the county. The water is provided locally. It's kind of a rural area, totally unincorporated. No homeowners association rules or regulations, those kind of things. They don't exist there.
All right. Ms. Kennedy?
Now, she,
I second everything he said, Mr.
Hold on a
Chairman.
second.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. All right. All
Thank you
right.
so much for your consideration.
Yes, yes, yes. All right, thank you all. Hi.
Hi.
You would like to have something to say?
Yes.
Come right up to the podium. State your full name, please.
Good morning, gentlemen. My name is Vicki Breedlove. I am the adjoining property owner. I own 439 Dillon Drive. After coming in and reviewing the proposed application for variance that my neighbors had filed with you all, I do have several concerns. I guess my primary concern is, as the neighbors indicated, the houses are already very close to one another. My house and their house are almost in perfect horizontal alignment. We can pretty much look into one another's windows. And I have some photographs if you all would like to see. My primary concern is that any addition, whether it be 8 foot, 10 foot, 12 foot, that brings my neighbor's property, their house closer to that property line, is going to, if not all the way, partially block my view of the river. On the side of my house that they will directly face with their addition, I only have one window. And that window happens to be my bedroom window. Again, I think it goes without saying, you don't want people up in your bedroom window. It's a privacy issue. I don't have air conditioning. When I'm there, I have to leave that window open for breezes, for the air that blows off of the river. I have to leave that window open for light. Again, it's one window on the side of my house, and they're proposing to get 8 foot closer to that property line, which that gets right up on me. My concerns are that it's going to block, certainly diminish that light, that daylight that comes into that window. It'll certainly have an impact on the breeze that comes off of the water. Those are my primary concerns. I had a question, and this may be completely irrelevant, but as I reviewed the documents, I noticed that they are applying for an 8 by 30 foot dwelling addition onto their house. The diagram that I saw that was presented along with that application, if you do the math, it looks like they're trying to put a 34-foot addition onto the house. The house is currently 24 feet wide, so it really makes no difference whether they put a 30-foot or a 34-foot. The addition that they're proposing will be wider than the current house. And again, you know, my primary concern is that it will certainly affect my view of the river from that one window that I have on that back corner of my house. I'm concerned over noise. I mean, that's my bedroom. People, you know, walking around the house, talking, making noise, starting cars, anything that puts them closer to that bedroom window is certainly a concern to me. I have owned that lot with my family for 60-plus years. I hope to get to a point in the very near future that I can make that my permanent residence, certainly a more full-time residence. And I am concerned with anyone coming any closer. The other side of their house, there's a vacant lot. Again, I think Mr. Bernie indicated that he was close to the property line on that side too. He's exactly right. Initially, many years ago, the lots in that subdivision were 140 feet wide. The developer split certain lots. Mine happens to be one, theirs are one. We have 70 feet. It goes without saying, we all know, we knew when we purchased those lots that we wouldn't be able to go on the sides. You can go in the front, perhaps you can go in the back, but you can't add on to the sides. Unfortunately, Mr. Bernie is facing the same problem that the past owners of that house have faced. The previous owner that he bought from realized that he couldn't add on without coming so close to everyone, and he didn't want to be close, so he actually turned the house over to his children and moved somewhere else. It's a very narrow lot, but I think when you buy these lots, you know that. You go into it knowing that. And I'm concerned over my view being blocked and the fact that someone wants to come closer to my bedroom window. That's my concern.
Rob? Have any questions or comments?
Well, the first question I have is, looking at what we were given, what prohibits you from going towards the street or towards the river?
This is the opposition up right now.
Oh, where is it, where does,
Are you being?
no, no,
Mr.
no,
Robe?
no, I'm
Thank you.
clear on the opposition. I just need some,
What I'm trying to do is add on to my wife's bedroom. And so by extending the house, it makes the bedroom 8 feet bigger. That's, up and down there with a closet is what I'm trying to do. I think what my neighbors don't know, and I don't know, when was the last time you were there?
Last week,
So you saw the new addition?
I saw the new addition.
Okay, the new addition, we did put a new addition on the back, and it conforms. I didn't have to come before you, 25 feet, I built 16 feet right, right in the middle and went toward the river. We're just trying to go 8 feet wider. So it doesn't really work for us because we would still be in violation if we went toward the river, because we would still be outside the 25-foot, or not inside, we'd be in violation of the 25-foot rule. Because we only have 20 feet. That's all we have in the middle. So anytime I would add on to the back, I'd be in violation. And we'd have the same problem, because her primary complaint appears to be that the view would be blocked. Well, if I add on to the back, it's still gonna go out, still gonna create that problem for her, as she states.
Is there anything that prevents you from going towards the front? And then when we say back, you mean towards the river or towards the road?
Well, you mean come in 25 feet on both sides and go up the front?
Well, something like that. I guess where I was going was if the neighbor concern is a view or something like that, could you extend rearward if you want more square footage? It might not be ideal. And then the second question is, as neighbors, is there any common ground?
I don't know. I wasn't aware that they were opposed until we showed up here today. We had no, we're full-time residents. They're friends of ours. We see them when they come, if we catch them. Otherwise, I have no contact with them at all. The problem with going out, if you will, toward the front would be that's the front of the house. So that 20 feet there would be going right out through the front door. And that doesn't solve my problem with adding on to the bedroom at all.
Gotcha.
It just gives me more square footage, but I'd have to move my kitchen and all kinds of things to make that happen.
You have anything you would like to say?
I
John?
went out and looked at it, and that whole subdivision is 70-foot lots, it looks like, and they're all, he would at least be centered on his lot, then 10 on each side. Oh, sorry. So I don't know, I think it's a hardship. I don't think, he needs a little room, it's the only way he can go.
Dave?
This one's one of those where you gotta define hardship, and it's a tough one to do. Having a requirement for a bigger bedroom doesn't necessarily qualify as a hardship. because you have a skinny piece of property, that's a hardship. I mean, you're already in the setback zone. I understand it feels like it's the norm to be roughly 10 feet off the line.
Mr. Chairman, could I just add one clarification? So the
Yes.
addition does abut up next to my bedroom, but what we're actually trying to do is add more storage space. So it's actually just an 8 feet wide closet and a place for my desk so that I can have a place to work since I'm working out of my home office right now. Right now, I'm kind of shoved up and having to work out of a corner of a small guest bedroom. And so I just needed, so it's while the addition does adjoin to my bedroom, it's actually more storage space and then a place where I can work in what would be a home office for me. And again, it is just 8 feet.
Thank you for that. I guess what I haven't heard is that you can't get that extra storage room, office, workspace somewhere else in the property that conforms. I mean, I haven't heard you say there's a septic tank here, and there's trees over there, and there's a ravine on that side. So I'm just questioning, have we explored all options on this property? And the fact that somebody's here that's not happy about you asking for more encroachment makes our decision-making that much harder. So this is my mental calculus of, is this really a hardship, and where am I gonna find it? So I haven't made my decision yet, but I'm gonna go on
Well,
online.
I'm in the same position because I'm, one of the things that I always try to do is, number one is to define the hardship. When I look at this, as Mr. Nichols already said, you're already in the setback, so that's a given. The question is do we allow you to go further into the setback, or do we try to find other areas to add on to this property? And it gets back to, unfortunately, for us, it's a hardship. It's not what we want, not what we like. And so that's why I haven't come to a conclusion because I'm trying to find out, like David said, what other areas can we go to get you what you're looking to get you the space? When I said earlier and I asked the question, could you go towards the road or the river? It's basically keeping your house the same width, but going this way or that way. Because we all know mathematically, if you go wider, you're going to need a variance. It's easier if you were going to go in towards the road or towards the river, at least for me, if you had to come before the board and ask for a variance because you were adding on, but as you said, you didn't have to get it one before because you were already there, then it's a little bit easier for me because you're not going wider. If you're going this way, I can get there. I'm just struggling with the hardship of having to go wider.
Just for a point of clarification to help you a little bit. The house, I only have 20 feet to stay in compliance. I only have 20 feet. That 20 feet would be right in the middle of the home, which means that 20 feet in the front would be the front door.
Mr.
And I
Bernie's
would have to go out to the
misunderstanding.
front.
Hang on, Mr. Bernie. So this was, his addition that was approved, the end of last year was approved by the previous zoning officer. He stayed inside the footprint, so he had 10 foot on the left side of the property, 18 on the other.
Correct.
He didn't need a variance.
Correct.
So what you're assuming you have to be 25 feet off for an addition, no, sir. What the board is trying to tell you is you can come from the corner of your house forward towards the road and stay 10 feet off the left side of your property and 18 off the right, and you can have an addition. That's what they're trying to explain to you. It's another option, not 25 feet for your addition.
Right.
Well, I'm confused because I just went through this
So
before
that-
to add on to the back of my house.
Well-
And I was clearly told that to put that addition on, it had to conform with the new rules. And so he told me I had to be 25 feet off the property line on each side, which is 50 feet, which only gave me 20 feet in the middle. So I just now finished and completed an add-on onto the back that was 16 feet by 16 feet to stay within conformance. So
Let me just ask for, I'll just ask for clarification. So, Bill, just to make sure I'm clear, today, the property is 18 feet on one side and 10 feet on the other,
that's correct.
correct?
Yep.
So if he wanted to add on to this house, I can go this way or this way, because I haven't gone wider. Is that correct?
That's right, that's correct.
Okay, so that's what I was asking. So when we get back to the way I look at what I have, my job sitting on the board is the word hardship. So to me, you can add all you want towards the road or all you want to up to the 100-foot RPA on the riverside, and you're fine, because you haven't gone this way.
Right,
As soon as you want to go this way, that brings us into the picture, because now that you're encroaching into the 25. We already know you're 18 and 10, or opposite, doesn't matter, but that's the math.
right,
You can go this way or towards the river, all you want.
okay. I understand what you're saying, and I agree. It's just that I'm trying to add on to a particular part of the house, and to do what you're saying, I just did it to the back.
Right.
So I can't just, now I'm approaching the water, so that's pretty much, and I would really cut off the view if I went any more to the back. So all I have left is the front. And the front would be right in the middle of the house, which is, the sidewalk and the front door, it all comes right up to the middle of the house. You open that door and there's the kitchen. So you're talking the difference between a small addition and a major, home renovation, new kitchen, just a major home renovation is what you're talking about. So it's just something, you're right. I mean, I can see your argument about whether or not it's a hardship or not. It doesn't sound like it on the face, but when you're trying to live in a bedroom that's like 10 by 10, because they're small houses, and you can barely get a queen-size bed in there. And then my wife is using the other bedroom as an office because she works at home. She's a full-time consultant working out of the house. So that, knocks out the other bedroom. And so, yeah, you can argue that it is a hardship or is not a hardship. If you're living there full-time, it becomes more of a hardship than if you're, coming down on weekends and making it a weekend home. But when you're trying to make it a full-time home and live there full-time, just something as simple as, a closet makes a major difference, because those old river houses had no closets. They just don't have them. So that's just an idea. Try to help you out.
The only thing I want to add, and I apologize in advance for this comment, but I just think just to bring things into perspective, I do appreciate our neighbors' concerns, and I have always liked them. They have been very complimentary of us buying a house. They have talked about what great neighbors we've been and how we've made improvements and really increased the value on both sides. But we've lived there for 4 years, and our neighbors haven't spent one night there in the 4 years we've lived there. They certainly come down and check on the property. She may intend to live there full-time at some point in her life, but they've never spent one night there since we have owned this property. And I think that is just something to consider as well.
During the midst of a global pandemic at my age and still continuing to work part-time, I've not traveled anywhere. I've not come to my set home to spend the nights. I've been afraid. I am over 60. I will be 65 years old in May, and I haven't traveled. And she's right. I don't come and stay, I haven't traveled. I haven't gone anywhere. I have some other health issues, and I have been advised by my physician to pretty much stay where I stay. So that, I think in the midst of the pandemic that things have changed for everybody. My travel and overnight stays have certainly been diminished in the past 2.5, 3 years. Also, I guess my question, my comment is more, The neighbor said they just put an addition, they had an application out for an addition on, they call it the back, we call it the front. The water side is typically thought of, the river side is the front of the house. But, weren't they short on space when they put that addition on at the end of last year? I mean, I'm not quite sure that I understand why it's necessary to put on a 30 or 34-foot by 8-foot closet onto a bedroom to work out of. Their house is a 3-bedroom house. There are 2 people that live there. I have to tell you, folks, I work out of my bedroom. I work too. And I'm working from home, and my daughter is working from home, and we're working out of our bedrooms or our kitchen. And we don't have a nice new addition as the neighbors do on the front of their house. I'm sure they were short of space, storage space then too. I mean, maybe these things should have factored in when they put this new addition on the front of the house at the end of last year. I mean, I'm not happy with the pandemic, but we're all doing things that we don't normally do. We're working from home and not traveling. So that's my answer for that.
I do not see a hardship. Dave, you have anything else you would like to say?
Not so much specific to this case, but this is the second time in as many months that I wish the neighbors could have gotten together before the meeting and just talked about it and shown what was going to happen.
I agree.
And come and said, hey, you know what, they want 10, but we'll settle with 5, or something like that, where all parties can agree. And I know it's too late for that. Because, yeah, I mean, honestly, if there wasn't opposition, I could probably make a case for this hardship, because it is sort of the norm in that neighborhood to be 10 feet off. The fact that you've got people here that don't want this to happen, and it's already an encroachment, I don't think I can support encroaching further.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way. I mean, I think that you have to, when you, on this board, it's like David said, this is the second time in 2 months that we've, had this situation, and I 100% agree with what David said. It's just unfortunate the neighbors couldn't have gotten together and worked out something so that it doesn't come down to us having to make a decision, because I've always tried to make the decision based on the hardship, but I also have to take into consideration what neighbors want. So I'm like David, I'm struggling with this one tremendously. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
John?
I'm having a hard time with this because I understand these are old houses. People come here to live. They like to make it better. I don't think that the additional 8 feet make that much difference if you go look at all the houses in that subdivision. I would be more inclined to grant them the variance.
All right. I'm ready for a motion.
I'm going to make a motion, we deny the request.
I'll second.
It has been moved and proper second that this request for this variance be denied. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Aye.
3 and 1. All right.
Next on the agenda, election, sir.
Okay. No other business?
No other business, sir. No other business, Chairman.
All right. Election time.
I'll definitely need your help through this one, sir.
I'll make it easy. I'll make a motion and we keep it the same.
Can I just ask what they are? Okay, who is vice chairman? You?
I think I'm secretary. Yeah, I'm secretary.
Who's vice chairman now?
Steve Sorensen, sir.
Steve,
Okay.
Nominate Robert Fleet.
for assistant.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Oh,
I didn't get what you said.
I was nominating Robert for,
assistant,
Vice Chair.
Vice Chair.
Vice Chair.
yeah.
I agree.
right?
Has been moved proper second. That all offices will remain the same. Brother Robert Fleet will be the assistant chairman.
Thank you.
All in favor?
I abstain.
In favor.
I has it. All right.